G'day there, Ray Corcoran here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about extreme frugality. I don't know why this has become such a massive craze, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, what I think you should do instead. And yeah, with that said, let's get into the video. And one last thing, if you're interested in learning more about how to save money, make money, and invest your money smarter, then consider subscribing. We do 2 videos every single week. And it's all no BS, straight to the point, and based on actual experience, not just made up stuff that I've Googled. So let's get into the video. So the title is a little bit clickbaity, and this is a bit of a bit tongue-in-cheek, this video, but I see so many personal finance, people like gurus in the personal finance space kind of bragging about how frugal they are. Now, I would consider myself a frugal person, so I'm not necessarily hating on saving money. Quite the opposite, I love saving money. However, some of these people wear frugality like it's a badge of honor, like there's some sort of award for see how much punishment you can give yourself and how much you can reduce your quality of life in the name of frugality and maybe getting likes and validation online. And there's all these little sub-communities online of people that are living really lean and living off $20,000 a year or $10,000 or whatever it is in your currency, a low amount of money every single year. Now, there's a niche of people that are okay doing that, like they genuinely want to do it. However, I think there's a large portion of those people that actually just don't know how to make more money and are pretending like they're just going to live that frugal life, and they've basically given up on learning how to make more money, and they've decided we're just going to try and live very lean on a low amount of money. So if you really genuinely want to do it, no problem with that. However, I think a lot of these people are actually deluding themselves and almost bragging about how they can live off so little. It's a good thing to live off a low amount of money and get used to it. But the big problem is this strategy is so defensive, it is ridiculous. And if you really want to build serious wealth, and if you're on this channel, you'll soon find out if you follow this channel that my philosophy is really like trying to make more money than you'll ever need, and making a large amount of money rather than just trying to make enough to get by and be comfortable. Because realistically, you can do that yourself. Anybody with a little bit of effort can do that themselves. What's much more challenging is to make a lot of money, multiple millions of dollars. So that's what we're going to focus on this channel and in this video, is really the big shift that you need to make. You see these people, they do my head in these people. They brag about how they live in these tiny homes. They talk about, I saw a post on Instagram the other day. This lady was posting a picture of this microwave soup from a supermarket chain in Australia. It looked horrendous, like it looked terrible, and she was bragging it only cost her 50 cents or 60 cents or whatever it was. Now, if you don't have $100 or you don't have $1,000 or you're in debt, that may be a valid thing for you to do. In some situations, you got to do what you got to do. However, there are some people that are kind of beyond that point now. They're not rich, but they're not in debt, and they've saved a little bit of money, and they're continuing to live this, in my opinion, unnecessarily frugal life. If you're still doing that, and if you want to do it, that's fine. However, the thing you really need to focus on, and the thing that most people just, because this is harder, is increasing your income. If you're not focusing on increasing your income, and all you're doing is playing defense all the time and trying to buy the cheapest clothes and cheapest food, like literally foregoing nutrition, just so you can save $1 here, $1 there, you're looking at it in a totally wrong way. You need to be focusing on the big wins rather than the small micro wins. If you're constantly trying to save $1 here, $1 there, one pay rise could cover 3,000 coffees for you. So, and one pay rise might take you, a few months. It could take you a few weeks. It depends what kind of role, what size of a pay rise, what step up in responsibility. But the point is that you should be focusing on big wins. Sure, make sure you're not throwing too much money out the door every month. Of course, it goes without saying. However, you need to move onto offense at some point. The problem with a lot of financial advice channels and personal finance channels is they focus, there's kind of 2 main streams, and you need to understand which one of these that you are. So the first stream is mainstream, mainstream financial advice. This is for people that have regular jobs, regular salaries. Their ambitions are to have a little bit more than they have now. Nothing wrong with that, but that's, realistically, that is not too hard. And the reason I say that is because it's only a small jump up in the quality of life and the amount of money that they need. So realistically, you don't need to do too many drastic things to get a slight improvement in quality of life. And if that's you, fantastic, go you. The other stream is people that have decided, without getting all YOLO on you, you only live once and you figure, well, I'm working anyway, might as well make a lot of money and do literally whatever I want. If you're only going to be here once, then might as well make a lot of money, might as well have a really fulfilling career where, it's challenging, it's hard, it's stressful. However, you are rewarded significantly more for it. Maybe you own a business, whatever it is, but you really go for it and you're left with, significant financial resources and, you can give more to charity, you can give more to your friends, you can give more to family, you can be a support network for everybody around you because you've created more resources than just what you need. Now, if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, then you're in the right. This is how I personally think, and this is what I'm working towards. For me, I made my first $1 million, relatively young, and obviously I'm working on making many, many more. And the reason I think that even I've gotten, I still have way more to go, and I'm a small fry compared to a lot of people. But compared to a lot of people, I was focused on making more than average money, from a very young age. And my focus has always been on making more than a traditional salary. For most jobs, whether it was making in Australia $100,000 a year was a big milestone, maybe $80,000 a year in the US, I'm not sure. But there's certain, salaries where it's you're on a pretty good salary, you're on a good wicket, as they say. And you just really need to think about what do you want to go for? I always think about, some of my earliest jobs where I worked so hard and it was super, super difficult and stressful, at least, relative at that time, for peanuts. And it's well, if you're going to get stressed for making low money, you might also get stressed to make a lot of money, and focus on growing your income, whether it's pay rises, upskilling yourself, starting a business, moving companies if you're in a job and there's limited opportunities there. That is where, in my opinion, 80 to 90% of your time should be, is getting big wins, not looking at skipping a coffee here or there. What a miserable existence when you're trying to skip a $3 coffee. Realistically, the problem isn't the coffee costs $3 or $4 in Australia. The problem is that you don't have enough income coming in. Of course, if you don't care about coffee, then feel free to cut it out. But if you like coffee, it's just one of those little things where it's just ridiculous to deprive yourself of something that for a lot of people gives them, I love my morning cup of coffee. It gives people, a lot of enjoyment. So it's just that's a trade-off in quality of life that, in my opinion, I don't think is worth it. So what's the whole point of this video? It's really, one, have a bit of a laugh at these extreme frugal people, which I am a little bit frugal, as I said, but they just take it to the whole next level, and it's just completely ridiculous. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't let these frugal people lure you into living a miserable life when, to be honest, you should be focusing more of your effort and attention on making more money. You should be going much harder on that rather than trying to skip a coffee or live in one of those stupid tiny homes or doing all these things where it just, the quality of life sucks. Maybe in the very early days, yeah, sure, you got to do it. But as you start to get some progress and you're like, I'm starting to get a little bit of savings behind me, enjoy those things, reward yourselves with those things when the time's right, but spend 90% plus of your time. Ask yourself, how much money did I bring in this month? Was it 5 grand? Was it 10 grand? Was it 20 grand? Was it 2 grand? Whatever it was, that is one of the biggest metrics that you should be focusing on. Because cutting costs, you can cut a lot of costs, within days. So even if you're bad at spending, get good at earning and it'll usually smooth it out. But you can always fix your spending problems a lot faster than your earning problems. Because sometimes earning a lot more for most people, if you're good at making money, it's easy to make money quickly. But if you're not good yet and you want to get good, that can take time to learn the skills, change the job, get the promotion, whatever it is. So focus on that. You can always get good at cutting the cost later, if you need to. So have a think about that. Look at what you're doing with your finances. Are you too defensive orientated and too focused on trying to cut costs at every little juncture? or are you doing quite a good job of that and you're actually, allocating a good amount of your time to increasing your income? That's how, if I look at like my net worth at the moment, the majority of that was the result of earnings increases and revenue increases in the business. Not from, obviously the saving helped me keep more of that, but the main reason that money is there was because of sharp increases in income. And I think that's what you should focus on rather than some of this frugality stuff that just gets pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with what I say? Do you disagree? Do you think I've got it all backwards? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of these super frugal people. Do you think they're on the right track? Do you think that they focus too much on defense rather than actually, the important stuff, which is offense? Let me know in the comments. Give the video a like. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We'd love to have you on board and part of our family. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.